Hi guys. So there are scenarios when you apply your machine learning algorithm to create models uh, and to predict the values. But whenever you use the training data, it is not always well defined and a best suited data for your algorithm to create model, right? Sometimes what happens that you have missing values in your data set. Sometimes the whole record or the some part of record is missing. So in this video we'll try to see some of the techniques that we can use to manage the missing values that are present in the data set. Okay, so there are uh, three techniques that I have mentioned here. Okay, and I'll talk about these techniques one by one. So let's first assume what is the data set. Let's create a dummy data set so that we can understand it in a better way. Okay, so let's suppose that we have our data set and it is in tabular form. So we have a tabular data set. I'll just write some, let's just write few entries here. Okay, let's suppose that we have our data set as this, and here we have our label, and there we have attributes. So in the attributes we have different features, say x1, x2, x3, and let's suppose that it is going on to xn, and here we have our features. Okay, so and we can just extend these uh, lines so that we can represent the records also. So now these are the records. So we have lot of records in our data set, and uh, this is the first record, this is the second record, let's assume, and there are a lot of records here. Okay, so this in this data set there can be situation where some features in a single record is a missing value. Okay, and there will be scenario when you'll deal with the practical data set. There will be scenario when you'll find that lot of features in lot of records are missing. Okay, so let's see the first technique that we have here to manage the missing feature in our data set. First is just remove the record. Okay, so this technique you always apply when you have large number of records. You have large number of records, the data set is huge, and you have few records that are having missing features. Okay, so let's suppose that R2 here is not having this x2 feature in its vector. Okay, or just suppose that it is having uh, some some dummy value or some unexpected value in place of x2. So you will have to eliminate this record. Because there are less number of records that are having missing values, you will try to remove these records. It will not affect the results of your model very much. Okay, so remember guys, this technique will always be applicable when you have your data set that is very large. Okay, that is very large, and only few records have missing values. Okay, missing features. We should never use this technique until unless these two conditions are satisfied. Okay, so let's assume that you have your data set that is very large, and there are lot many records which are containing missing values, missing features. Then you should not remove all the records, because it will make your data set uh, a bit smaller, and maybe your model will overfit in that data set. Okay, so this is the first technique that you should apply. The second technique is actually uh, it's a machine conversion technique. I'll say that you should not use this technique because it requires to create some models. So let me just give you an example. Let's suppose that we have this feature, this x2 feature missing from our record r2. Okay, so this technique states that we should create a model, maybe a regression model or some classification model, to predict the value of this x2 label, okay, by using, so we'll create a model that is m1 m, and we'll feed all the other records, which are having the which are having full features, okay, full features, no missing value is there, and we'll feed those records to our model. We'll train that model, and then we will predict the missing value of r2 or any other record that is having the missing value, okay. So it means that we will be having some sort of a pre-prediction of the training data before we actually train the model, okay. So it is actually computationally very high, because you need to create some models to predict the values of the missing features that are present in the record, okay. So this, I would not suggest you to implement this also. You can implement the first technique, but you should make sure that these two conditions are satisfied, that is, the data set is large and few records are having missing values, okay. So this is it. The third technique is widely used in present scenario, even in practical application, that is known as automatic strategy. In automatic strategy, we have three sub strategies, I should say. One is mean, okay, another is median, and the third one is mode, okay. So what happens in automatic strategy, that you basically replace, let's suppose that we have again this r2, and the x2 feature is missing in r2. So what we will do, we'll take the average of all the x2 values in the data set, and we'll place that average here itself, okay. In place of r2, we'll place that average. So we can always place the average in place of the missing value, okay. So in this way, you will not be required to remove this r2 record, or you will not be required to create a sub model for predicting the value of x2 in place of r2, okay. So in r2 record, so this is actually widely used, okay. The second one, you can find out the median of x2 in the whole data set, and then you can replace the missing value by median, okay. These techniques are like, okay, you can do this, because these two techniques, basically mean and median techniques, you can implement when the data set is not having, like, when this feature x2 is not representing some sort of class, or it is not representing some sort of category, okay. So if it is not a category, you can just use these two features, okay. But if you have the x2 reflecting some category, so if x2 is a categorical variable, then you should always go for mod. So you will find out the mode, and then you will replace the missing value by the mode of the same feature, okay. So this is how you handle the missing values, basically. And I know this video is bit shorter. If you have any confusion, you can just comment down and ask me directly. Please subscribe this channel, so that I can have some I'll get some I'll get encouraged to make more videos, okay. So just subscribe to this channel, share this video with your friends, and thank you for watching. Bye.